The metaverse is a new digital reality. Everything that you see around you looks and even feels real, but it's not.
Or is it?
Thanks to the blockchain, everything in the metaverse can actually be real, really owned, and really valuable. But the question that we're going to be asking in this video is this a fantasy, or is the metaverse ever actually coming? I strongly believe that the metaverse is actually coming. And it will be not long from now when you can earn a currency in a video game in the metaverse that you will be able to spend at your local grocery store for real food. This might sound crazy, but in Ernest Cline's Ready Player One, the metaverse was an escape that all humanity used in order to work, play, and socialize. And it was a really big thing in the world. Now, well, I don't think we're gonna be in some sort of post-apocalyptic world like kind of laid out by Ernest Cline in Ready Player One. I do think that the potential for a virtual world where there is a currency in this world that's used for all of the virtual goods that exist inside this metaverse, that this currency could be more stable than the real world. But that's only one side of the metaverse. There are two technologies that need to progress in order for the metaverse to actually happen. So let's look at each of these technologies and see how they're actually progressing. Starting off, we're getting closer and closer to the day when visually a virtual reality is going to seem as realistic as the real world. Now, maybe we never actually get to the point, but at a certain point, your brain, it just doesn't really care anymore. So let's look at an article here that was reported by CNBC. Zuckerberg recently showed off these prototype headsets, and I actually watched the entire live stream of showing off these headsets. It was really cool, and they're trying to achieve these different goals of making virtual reality seem more visually real. So Zuckerberg said during the demonstration that current displays have low resolution, display distortion artifacts, and can't be worn for long periods of time, which is all true and kind of why VR isn't a mainstream technology yet, as much as it does have a lot of super fans like myself. But even I don't actually use virtual reality that much, even though I'm a big fan of the technology and own a lot of headsets. Zuckerberg continued that the issue today is the vividness of the screens that we have now compared to what your eye sees in the physical world is off by an order of magnitude or more. And finally, it's not going to be that long though before we can create scenes in perfect fidelity. So Zuckerberg just really talking up the future of the virtual reality efforts that Meta is taking, and I think there is a really good chance that Meta is going to be one of the companies that's pushing this side of is the metaverse coming towards actually coming. Recently, The Verge reported that Microsoft, Meta, and other founding massive companies are founding a metaverse open standards group to kind of make standards exist across the space so that things can be standardized, and that kind of allows them to be scaled and the industry to really come alive. Microsoft, Epic Games, Meta, and 33 other companies and organizations have formed a standards group for metaverse technology. In a press release, the group said, industry leaders have stated that the potential of the metaverse will be best realized if it is built on a foundation of open standards. So that's kind of the goal there, is allowing a big industry for virtual reality technology to really exist and start to open up and thrive. Another recent piece of news that points towards virtual reality starting to actually happen. If you haven't played VR chat, then you don't know how far kind of virtual reality hanging out has come. But another step here is that Quest 2's Meta Horizon Home is now a social space. They recently pushed out the fact that you can like invite other people to your home in virtual reality and kind of hang out with your friends. So this is another way in which Facebook is kind of, or Meta is kind of pushing the metaverse forward and trying to make it happen. And it is happening, guys. Like when you're in the moment of change, or in the moment of a revolution, it can feel slow, but then looking back on it, you realize how fast it's actually happening. And it is happening really fast, but when it's all around you and you're kind of moving with it, it's hard to see the velocity at which change is happening because you're kind of part of that change. But that's only one side of this metaverse as we establish. So the other side then is the blockchain, and how far is the blockchain coming along in giving us real ownership in video games, which is the other side of what we need for the metaverse to exist. So there's a couple cool pieces of news that I want to talk about regarding this as well. So one is that yes, this technology is also progressing, just like virtual reality. The blockchain side of things is progressing, and we have seen some really big support from the community, people showing like, we want blockchain games, we want Web3 games, and not just like verbal support, putting their money where their mouth is. So we just had one piece of evidence in support of that, which is Illuvium recently had their first land sale and raised over $72 million in this Dutch auction that they did. And that just shows like, wow, that's so much support from the community for the continued building of this game. And these early adopters of cryptocurrency and gaming are kind of making the technology. Right now we are creating the technology, fast enough blockchains, cheap enough blockchains, environmentally friendly enough blockchains, layer 2 solutions. Like, we're making the foundational technology right now of what is going to enable crypto gaming, and it is happening before our eyes. There's like a lot of money and a lot of really smart people working to bring this side of the metaverse into reality as well. Next, talking about another company that is making the blockchain side of gaming happen is the big sponsor of our channel, On-Chain Gaming, Gala Games. Gala Games is the predominant player in blockchain gaming right now. They are building their own blockchain right now, the Gala chain, sometimes called Gary chain, that is making gaming on the blockchain something that can actually happen, something that's fast, efficient, cheap. And Gala, by developing this technology, is enabling the metaverse to happen easier in the future, because now, hey, the technology already exists. All we have to do is build the metaverse. And like, all of a sudden you start to get VR projects that can just easily integrate blockchain because of the type of technology that Gala is building, and these other really big blockchain gaming specific companies that really want to make the onboarding to the blockchain happen. And we've seen Gala bring a ton of really big AAA studios that have worked on games like Call of Duty or The Witcher now making games on the blockchain because of what Gala is doing to move this space forward. So I love what Gala Games is doing in the crypto space, and all of this is kind of just coming together. So now we have companies working in the VR space, making it more realistic, companies working on the blockchain space, making ownership in video games actually possible. And these two technologies coming together is what is going to make the metaverse actually happen. Like, it's not something that is never going to happen. It is something that is an ever with an end. And I'm excited for that moment to come. Now, like all new technologies, adoption is going to start slowly. It's going to be expensive at first, and it's going to be the early movers, the early adopters that are actually trying out these games and trying to make them happen. But then as the technology gets more mainstream and gets cheaper, all of a sudden the adoption accelerates, and like all new technologies, eventually you just like enter this crazy S-curve where it seems like everyone is jumping in at once. And at some point that's gonna happen for the metaverse, but we are in these early days here where we're still just trying to get all of the technology in place, let alone making it cheaper so that we can get those like massive adoption moments where the whole world starts adopting a brand new technology. But one last piece of evidence just to point towards the fact that like adoption is getting easier and easier, and these barriers to entry are going away, and like the metaverse is happening, is we just had it reported that Star Atlas just made a partnership with an on-ramp company, MoonPay, who has worked with a lot of crypto companies. So you can buy cryptocurrencies with your credit card, like directly purchase Star Atlas coin or Polis coin with a credit card. So these sorts of partnerships between blockchain on-chain gaming and traditional finance are also going to make it a lot easier for people to onboard into the metaverse. And all of this is just coming together to make the metaverse a reality. So I think the metaverse is actually happening. It is very exciting. No, it's not going to be here tomorrow, but yes, it is coming someday. And I think that day is going to be sooner than a lot of people think. So if you enjoyed my thought experiment here on the metaverse and found this video helpful or entertaining or exciting and got your brain going a little bit, then remember to drop a big thumbs up on this video to recommend it to more people. Then also, if you're not subscribed to On-Chain Gaming yet, what are you doing? Make sure you hit subscribe and click that notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos on Web3 and the metaverse. You don't want to miss the coverage. There's so much cool stuff being built right now, and I am so excited always to share it with you. So until next time, guys, have fun roaming the metaverse.